and welcome back to the channel. My name is Taylor, and today is another episode of the Taylor Talks Crochet Podcast. This is a very special podcast episode because we have our very first guest. This is Becca. She is one of my best friends, and we met in college, and we have continued to be friends throughout our adult lives and really connected through crafting. And today we just kind of want to tell you about our history with crafting and how we implement it into our lives. So if that sounds cool to you, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And let's hop in. Why don't you tell us more about yourself, Becca?
Like Taylor said, my name's Becca. I have been what I call a serial crafter or serial hobbyist throughout basically my entire life. I dabble in a million different types of crafts, and my husband likes to give me crap about it and be like, do you really need more craft supplies? Yes, I do, thank you. Thanks for checking. So I have done all sorts of different types of crafts. Like literally last night I was just making a lino cut stamp for a birthday card. I've dabbled in like stained glass, obviously crochet, knitting, watercolor, acrylics, all sorts of different types of art. My mom is also the same way, as you know, so it's just it's a lifestyle that I was born into.
Yes, a very crafty lifestyle. So how did your crafting change when, like, let's say when you went to college? Because we actually were both in the same sorority, and if you know anything about sorority girls, we can get pretty crafty when it comes to making presents for people in our sororities. And, you know, obviously college changes a lot of things because your priorities change, you're taking all these classes. How did you kind of implement that in college?
Yeah, well, I mean, like pretty much every college kid, I was working with a budget for sure. So I was definitely like leaning into lower cost crafts like fiber arts. That was a really big one for me. And also things like painting like canvases that were on sale at Walmart, you know, with like dollar store acrylic paint.
And that's when you got into watercolors too, right? Was college?
I think so, yeah. And that's another thing that can be a little bit lower cost, can be also like very high cost if you want it to be.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But it's also really portable too, which is also really nice when you're in college and you're like moving around every 2.5 seconds, it feels like. So
yes, oh my god. Well, and one thing that was nice is our college town, I don't believe the entire time we were in college, but especially those last few years that we were in Brookings, had a Joann's. Rip Joann's. We miss her. We miss her so much. But it was kind of nice where if you did kind of need something, because the college town that we were in didn't have a ton of things. Like we had a pretty good Walmart that had, you know, cheaper art supplies, but if you were really like into something or you wanted something very niche and you wanted something that you could get kind of more on sale, it was really nice to have the Joann's, even though it was a little bit smaller, because then it was like a 45-minute drive to get to Sioux Falls. Yeah. So anything on more of a grander scale that you wanted to have, you had to drive an extra hour out of your way. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot in gas, that's a lot in time that a lot of people in college just don't have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like the other alternative then would be to like order stuff online, mm-hmm. but especially things that are like more tactile, like fiber arts, like you can't obviously touch it through the screen, so like you can't go in and like touch it and feel it and know like what you're going to be getting. So
well, and Amazon just wasn't the huge thing. Like Amazon was still pretty big when we were in college. We went to college from you were 2015 to 2019, and I was 2016 to 2021. Amazon just really exploded with the pandemic, and now we have mm-hmm. people who make complete careers off of just Amazon affiliate links, and things just weren't mm-hmm. like that back then. And I feel like the only real influencers, like the Amazon influencers that can do that, I feel like are like coloring influencers with like the Amazon links and stuff.
No, I feel like there's some other people who do stuff like skincare or even
I meant from a crafting space in particular, because like with the colors, like they can be so expensive, but then the coloring books themselves are pretty cheap. But then, as you said before, like the tactile part of the crafting is so important, whereas obviously it's tactile to color, but it's different in that way. Because even with like paints, a lot of times, unless you know what brand of paint you want to get, it can be, I mean, I don't even know that much about painting. Or if you're trying to find thread for your sewing machine, you have to make sure that it's the exact right color.
Yeah.
So then Becca also had a crazy big life change this year.
Yes, yeah, I had a baby at the beginning of the summer in June. So now he is about 5.5 months old. He'll be 6 months later this month. It's been like the biggest life change ever, literally.
How has that changed your relationship to crafting now?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm like kind of just now getting back into it. I'm starting to sort of come out of the like survival stage, sort of. I still honestly mostly feel like I'm still in it, but trying now to be more intentional about including like creativity in my nearly everyday like lifestyle wherever I can, and just trying to like follow that joy. When I first had him, I had like no time to be able to do any crafting, and like when he went to bed at night, I would just sit there and like either doom scroll or just like watch YouTube just like a total zombie, because I just had like no energy.
It's a lot of work.
And it's really, really hard. But now he's getting to a point where he's a little bit more, not like self-sufficient, but he's getting kind of his routine, and he's, learning so much every day, and he's got like a pretty set bedtime too, so that helps too.
Yeah, it's this huge lifestyle adjustment, having a kid, and now it's kind of like, okay, we're settling into our routine, and I know that, obviously he's going to start moving and grooving soon, and things are always going to be changing, but really making time for that craft, and, obviously spending time with friends, and, crafting has always been a huge part of our relationship, and a way that, like, we connected. One thing about me actually was, prior to college, I actually hated crafting.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought I was really, really bad at crafting. I was, so get this. Yeah, no.
That's so sad.
I know. I unfortunately dealt with like a lot of self-esteem issues growing up, and that's, just kind of being a young girl in our society, unfortunately. But I actually used to love drawing, so as you know, I loved the Warrior Cats books. I also would draw the cats and stuff, but I had this one really good friend who was so good at art, and when I say so good, like ended up going to college for illustration.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Imagine us being in 3rd grade and she's like heads and tails above me, and I'm out here drawing like stick figure looking cats. Yeah, no, that's gonna take a hit on your self-esteem. And like, no shade, no tea, no hate. Like, I was just like really jealous.
Sure, yeah.
And I was like, God, I suck at this. I should probably just stop.
Aww.
And so I got to this point where like I did.
Baby Taylor.
Which is like really sad to think about. But then in college, I joined a sorority, and everyone was crafting, and everyone liked to like paint, and it was canvases and t-shirts and all this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I can craft. I'm not terrible at this.
I can do this.
And crocheting was really what like springboarded me into crafting more. Well, because I've told you my crochet story, right?
I think so, but catch me up.
Yeah. So we were doing a sisterhood. So at my old college, what they did was sisterhoods with other sororities.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we were arm knitting scarves for the women's the domestic abuse shelter in our area.
Yeah.
And I could not get it. I could not get it at all. I was like noodle arms. It was so bad. And so they had one skein left over, and they gave it to me, and they were like, try that again at home.
Good luck, bestie.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I did, and I got it, and I was like, oh my God. And then I arm knit a scarf for my big for Christmas that year. Aww. Yeah, and it just was like so much fun, and my mom was like, well, why don't you try actually knitting? And so I did, and no one ever told me, first off, twisted stitches. My stitches were not only twisted, I also was knitting in reverse. I didn't realize you had to turn your work. Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh.
So I thought knitting was super hard. So like, you know how you knit, but then if I'm doing a row, I would actually do the same thing. Yeah,
Wow.
I know, the fact that
That's kind of impressive, actually.
the fact that I can even do that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it today, knowing what I know now. I just was like, because in my how to knit book that I had, because it was like this tiny little thing from like Hobby Lobby, because that's what was near me when I was at Carroll. and it never said to turn. It never said to turn your work.
Well, that's not your fault then.
So it never computed in my head to turn my work.
That's not your fault. That's on the publisher.
Honestly. No, so that was really funny. But then my grandma, I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, grandma, I'm learning how to knit. And I knew that my grandma crocheted, and she went, no granddaughter of mine's going to be doing that knitting shit. I'm teaching you to crochet. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So she taught me how to crochet, and I actually picked that up super, super quickly, which is why I almost never knit anymore. Mm-hmm. Every now and then I'm like, ooh, that'll be fun. And then I'm like, then I remember how slow of a knitter I am, and I'm like, this isn't fun anymore.
I'm so slow at both knitting and crochet, as you can tell as she's like whipping out stitches, and I'm like, also part of the joy of crafting too, for me at least, that I feel like you feel the same way, is that like it kind of forces your brain to slow down. Mm-hmm. And there's actually been like studies that show that using both your hands, like especially if you're knitting, but I mean I think crochet also kind of fits the bill, but
yeah,
like using your hands like that can like provide stimulation to your brain that does like literally help calm down your brain, reduce your cortisol, and can even help, like for people who are a little bit older, can help reduce the risk of developing things like dementia or Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. So I think that's super cool.
That is super cool. I love crocheting for like the sake of crocheting, but I think when it gets to be like too long of a project for me, that's when like I lose steam and I lose motivation, and I just get like, oh, it's never gonna end.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like, I totally understand, you know, taking your time, but that's why I always do so many different things.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, oh, this one isn't satisfying me, I must do something else. It's really hard during the holiday season when you're making gifts, because you kind of have to only work on those gifts, or else they're not going to get done by Christmas. So I have been working on so many different things, and I am doing other crafts for Christmas presents, and I am woefully behind. I've got a Christmas next Saturday or Sunday. I mean, it'll be okay. It's mostly just like I have to go to Illinois, and then I'm like, I gotta get home and I gotta get it done. Mm-hmm. So it's really just about like putting your nose to the grindstone. I actually did a really spicy crochet in chat this week though, about how like quit making things for people who suck. Oh, I don't know what I was on. I was so angry.
That's so funny.
Because it's so true. I feel like we try to, we do things for people and they aren't, like, appreciative. I would love some chocolate.
It's a dork.
Ooh. I need you to know how often I have to edit burps out of my
That's hilarious.
videos. Because I know you watch them and you're probably like, oh, you know, she's got her burping under control. No, I just cut them out.
Oh, thank you. There's a little chocolate break.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really good.
It almost feels like it has a little bit of like a cherry flavor to it. Do you taste
that
too?
Mm-hmm. It's like a tiny bit salty, even.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
Like the tiniest bit.
It's got some layers to that. Mm-hmm. I feel like as I get older, I'm able to like taste more different things.
Stripless too.
It is nice and smooth, yeah.
But like, it's got a tiny bit of like, not grittiness, because that sounds bad, but like.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste like that chocolate that falls apart when you dig your teeth into it, really. Mm-hmm. Kind of know what you were talking about, like the cheap Christmas chocolate. Mm-hmm. Like it's got a nice hardness to it.
Yeah, almost like, have you ever had like really nice, like aged cheddar, and it's got those like little protein crystals in it? Mm-mm. Oh my god. That was like my favorite thing about cheese when I ate cheese. Sometimes if it's like a nice hard aged cheese, it develops these like little tiny crystal clusters. It sounds weird. Interesting. But it's like a similar texture to this.
Oh.
But in cheese. And it's fucking amazing.
Did you know that cheese activates dopamine receptors in the brain?
That makes sense.
Doesn't that make so much sense when you hear it?
That's why everyone's like, I can't quit cheese.
God, I saw this thing recently and it was like, phrases you need to stop saying as a grown woman. You need to stop saying like, I'm just a girl, or girl math, or girl dinner. And I'm like, while I understand some of the context behind that, I'm like, I also think that it's fun and whimsical to say. Like, I think that it's just a good time.
Are we not allowed to have fucking fun anymore?
Yeah, what happened to whimsy? But, like, I understand when people are talking about it, because they were specifically saying it in the context of, like, women trying to use that to justify their bad behaviors, because it's like there's a difference between like, I only ate buttered noodles for dinner, girl dinner, you know, like that's fine for like a night, but it's like, I maxed out my credit card, I'm just a girl. It's like, oh yikes, girly pop, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Like it shouldn't be an excuse.
But
also like we don't have to like
we don't have to
we need to have fun. Like, have you seen the world? We deserve fun. Have you been watching the news? We need fun.
Have you been outside? Oh God.
It's scary out there, man.
It is so scary out there.
Freaking scary.
That's why we have to craft.
That's why crafts are important.
Crafts are so important. They help me stay sane.
Like when you're starting a new podcast, like, am I gonna hate the like way that they talk or present stuff or whatever? But
dude, I think that podcasts, it's so hard because like I do kind of believe that podcasts are so oversaturated.
There are a lot of them.
There are so many, and like a lot of them are really short-lived. I didn't realize like how limited run some of them are. I used to follow these two girls on like BookTube, and they had a podcast that I really liked, and they granted they both kind of had some pretty big life changes, therefore they decided to like end the podcast. Yeah. But I was like, Dang. What am I to do now? Like, I'm just supposed to keep living?
I'm supposed to act like I'm fine? I'm not fine.
Yeah, no, it's like, dang. Well, and then, I've talked about this before, there's, oh my god, get this. So, I follow this one creator on Instagram, his name is Ebony Warrior Studios.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I've told you about him before, and it's so funny, because I was...
Wait, does he have a podcast?
Yeah, he's got a podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's called Friends with No Benefits, and it's with, two of his, like, girl space friends, even though I think one might be a romantic partner, because he like, I'm just speculating here, but he like reposted one of her photos with like a heart on his story, and I was like, seems romantic, but I'm not sure. I don't want to like speculate on people's love lives. Anyway, no, him and these two women have a really good podcast, and I really, really like it. They did an entire one about the politics of Star Wars.
Ooh, interesting.
And one about, like, how bad the world of Harry Potter is, and... Yeah, no, they're so good. You want to talk about The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Oh, always. Literally always.
I love The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I've talked about this to you guys before. Who's your favorite character, and why?
Honestly, I, in this most recent season, have kind of fallen in love with Whitney.
Me too.
Like, she's just, like, straight, no bullshit. And I love it. I'm so here for it.
It's really nice to see her finally kind of, like, taking a neutral route. Even if I don't entirely agree with her all the time, it's nice that she's finally starting to listen to other people without just reacting first. Because, like, Chad and I are watching season 1 again, and he's like, God, I can see why, you know, she was portrayed as this sort of villain. I'm excited to see what season 4 has to offer, because that's when they'll, like, both her and Jen will have been on...
And Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
And I feel like that did a lot for her reputation. I feel like a lot of people got to know her better. Like, even my sister, who loves Dancing with the Stars, she was like, I love Whitney, she should have been in the finals, da 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 da. And I was like, hey, yo, did you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? And she was like, I don't care! And I was like, That's fair. That's fair. No, I love Whitney. I've always liked Connor. And I think the hardest part, it was, like, kind of trying to... The headspace, like, how do they fit together? When it seems like he works well with other people and it just seems like she doesn't want to. And so it makes me wonder if there are more things behind the scenes that we just don't know about.
Well, I feel like that's probably the case for all of them, honestly. Like,
oh, God, yeah.
Like, not only are they not filming all the time, but also I feel like a lot of people are kind of different on camera, too. Mm-hmm. Like, Love is Blind, another one of our shows.
Ooh, yes.
There's so many times when people are like, well, you're acting like this amazing, usually boyfriend or fiance, it's usually the guys, you're acting like this amazing person on camera, and then behind the scenes, when the cameras are off, then you're acting like a total D-bag.
Do you think it's easier for people to be manipulative on Love is Blind? Like, to mask their true intentions?
Than, like, if they were dating, like, the traditional way?
Yeah, let's say, like, online dating.
Sure. Yeah, because I think so.
I think so, too. Because you're in this, you know, obviously these reality shows, they're designed so that you fall in love, right? If you were put in this situation, obviously you're going to put your best foot forward, and I feel like a lot of people kind of embellish the same way that they do on, like, social media. Mm-hmm. And we know, based on some of the reunions now, that they are, like, they actively recruit, like, kind of social media personalities, which is also crazy to find out, because you think that, oh, it's these people looking for love. Nah, it's just, like, Becky with 10 grand followers, you know?
Right, and clout chasers.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. It seems so much less genuine. Not that it makes it so we're not going to watch it, but...
Oh, for sure. We're still watching, right? Obviously.
It doesn't deter the want to watch.
Yeah.
It's just like in the back of your head sometimes.
Right, and it's so interesting, too. Like, I don't think you watched the Minnesota season, did you?
Mm-mm.
I did, and it was so interesting seeing as it came out how some people were like, this season is so boring. Like, this is the worst season ever. Like, there's nothing happening. These people are boring as hell. But while I was watching it, I was like, this is just kind of how Minnesotans are. We're very, like, want to be, I don't know, tolerable.
We're super mild-mannered.
Exactly. So, like, we're not going to be, like...
Well, and you know what's so crazy is that I get told I'm, like, a lot sometimes. Oh, not sometimes. A lot. I get told... Yeah, no, I've always been told that I'm, like, too intense, too loud, too this, too that. Like, especially when we lived in South Dakota, that was a huge thing. Now that I live here, I feel like people are much more tolerable of me, because it's not like I'm out here doing crazy stuff. I'm just being myself. And it's not like me being myself should be offensive to other people.
No, and there's a lot of really delightfully weird people here in the Twin Cities.
Yes.
It's so awesome.
It's the Midwest Portland.
It's so great.
I want to go to Portland so bad. You know how much that foam mattress topper was? Like $80.
Oh my god, it's so worth it.
It was very worth it. At the time, though, because I had just moved to Rapid, at the time it was a really big expense for me.
Yeah.
Because after you move, you're always, like, a little bit poor for a bit.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're trying to, like, either you used your savings and you want your savings to build back up, or you paid for it out of pocket, and you're just, like, really squeezed tight for, like, a little bit. So what are you reading right now?
I'm still working on The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Still. I honestly just feel like I am either, like, feast or famine when it comes to reading. I'm either, like, voraciously reading something, or I'm just kind of, like, just, like, little tiny snippets of reading every now and again. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm just like, I would rather be doing other things right now.
Yeah.
And I wish I was, like, good enough at crocheting to be able to, like, read and crochet, but...
I listen to my audiobooks and crochet.
That's a good idea.
That's what I do all the time. Well, and the only thing that really got me out of that feast or famine thing was downloading the Fable app. Mm-hmm. Imagine if that was a segue into a sponsorship. Fable, sponsor me.
This is your chance, Fable.
So you can click, like, I read today on certain books. Mm-hmm. And then it'll track your reading. So it'll be like, these are the books you read that day.
Cute.
And this was, like, the only thing that finally got me out of, like, the feast or famine style of reading. Because I used to be the same way. My first 100 book year was in 2021. Mm-hmm. But then it was, like, 60 books and then 40 books. And then both last year I read 106. And then this year I'm at 165 currently. I know.
Holy shit.
I know, one of my students was like...
That's crazy.
Coach, how do you do that? And I went, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you are a massive reader. I definitely admire that about you.
It's something that's really fun. I think it's also something that I've become really anxious. I've always been kind of self-conscious about my intelligence. Yeah. Well, because it's always something that was, like... in a way, a little bit self-inflicted, a little bit like the friends I had in high school. Like, they would make fun of me for, like, not being smart. Like, I got a 21 on the ACT the first time I took it. Okay. But I had friends that were averaging, like, 29 to 33.
Okay.
Which is...
That made you feel bad about that?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I just always felt, like, really stupid, and I just wasn't a very good test taker.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was gonna say. Not everyone is. Like, I got a 31, but I literally don't know how. I mean, like, not to be like, oh, it wasn't that bad, but like, I really, truly, honestly think there's like an element of like randomness and luck on what test you get, because I mean the questions change every time.
Right.
If you happen to get questions that like work with your brain, you know, like you get a reading passage that like you're like, okay, I get this, or like my essay portion was literally about like the importance of field trips in school, and it was the morning after I got back from a field trip.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, well, this is pretty fresh in my brain. I can write about that.
Yeah.
So like there's, I think honestly, like an element of luck to it. And then also some people's brains like just don't work that way, which is so fine.
Right. Well, I did really well on like the English portion when it came to like grammar and writing and all that stuff with like the sentence structures. And I did really well in the essay portion.
Yeah.
But like science, to this day I don't think you could give me a test of that science stuff and I would understand it. I also, the passages for the reading comprehension were so long that I could never finish them because I was a pretty slow reader in high school.
Oh, okay.
And my reading comprehension actually wasn't all that great. You know, I did okay. I don't know, I've always been better when it comes to like sitting down in like a conversational way and like kind of, I guess, expressing intelligence that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm really good on fact recall. I feel like I can speak really well. But when it comes to like a standardized version of trying to prove your intelligence, like, it does not work. I also took AP US History in high school, and that really did a number on my self-esteem.
Oh my god, I took that. I was in like mostly honors classes. I took literally one class of APUSH. Like during the summer, I read the books and everything that I was supposed to. Took one class and I was like, nope. And then I went to the office right afterwards and I was like, I need to be out of this business. I cannot be doing this.
Yeah,
So, kudos for you for finishing it.
Yeah, no, I got C's, and it tanked my high school GPA, and everyone was like, you don't have a 4.0, I can't believe you don't have a 4.0, but I have a 3.75. I know!
Literally, and like, why are high schoolers so obsessed with like doing the most? Like, calm down.
I know.
You're just a baby. Calm down.
I was in like honors English, because at my school, my high school, you could just sign up for the honors classes at the high school level. Like, you didn't have to like pre-qualify for them. So I took honors English and I took honors civics, and I don't remember. There was like one that they offered that I did not opt to do. It wasn't like math or anything, because that's just, you know, the classes and you take them as you take them.
You can go, like, you can be advanced in you can take it like a year ahead.
Yeah, that's how they did it. Because I was not advanced at math.
I don't know how it happened, but I ended up at like a year ahead in math.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
I still, to this day, like, you know how people make the joke of like, oh, you know, a quintessential childhood experience is your dad yelling at you at the kitchen table over a math problem? Like, that was me and my father every night.
Aww.
And like, I love my dad a lot. He's a very good person.
Yeah.
He is so good at math. And I am so not good at math.
Oh my gosh.
It was so bad.
I always tell my son, mind you, he's 5 months old, but I tell him that he's so lucky that he has an auntie who is a math teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, you are so lucky, because I don't math. I work in sales.
And then eventually he'll have another auntie who's an English teacher.
So true. We're like catching them all.
And then an uncle that's a science teacher.
Uncle is a science teacher.
Mm-hmm. What are we missing? Civics.
Aiden is a history buff. So
yeah,
it's like history and civics and all that stuff.
Yep. That's core curriculum.
And like social studies. Yeah. I think we're set.
Hell yeah.
I think we've got them all. And if he wants to go into sales, I've got him covered.
Or marketing.
Yeah, then you've got him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or if he wants to be an influencer, you know, I'm sure we could figure something out.
We will. We're not going to turn him into like the what's it called? Like Ryan's Toy Reviews, where he's
Oh
like
my
unboxing
God.
toys on YouTube.
That's crazy. That's
I could not.
Did you know that's the market to like garner a lot of views on YouTube as you make videos specifically for kids?
I believe it, but also that's a scary world.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, yeah, technically I could say that my videos are safe for kids, but I always click no because I'm just like,
No.
I talk about, drinking or, I live with my boyfriend and who knows whose parent is like, that's a girl talking about living with a man outside of wedlock. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, that's just not.
Exactly.
I don't need any parents coming for my throat.
No.
I already coach at a school.
Already I don't put my son on social media at all. Like, we choose to not show his face specifically because there's some real creeps online.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who specifically have their children feature in these videos creeps me out a little bit extra because, like, one, not only are you, and this is no shade to people who do show their kids on the internet.
Well, because
you make your own decision as
there's a difference between people like family vloggers who are using their children to make money and the parents who one off post funny videos of their kids. Those are two very different things. And you're talking about the people who
they're
use
like
their kids
exploiting their kids.
Yeah, they're props. Well,
exactly.
Didn't you hear about how a bunch of them are moving out of LA to Tennessee because their child labor laws are more lax and California is trying to crack down on it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'll just go exploit my child elsewhere.
Yeah, pretty much because California, I could be wrong, but essentially they were kind of like, hey, you need to have like a trust fund for your kid because they're helping to like rake in your money.
Good job, California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think more places need to be like that. And I understand that it's this, I mean, the internet is still, to a certain extent, like the Wild West. It's this unprecedented thing, and you just never know what the new thing is going to be. I mean, AI, I feel like, has only exploded within this past year. I remember last year my aunt telling me about ChatGPT, and I was like, that seems kind of weird, and now everybody uses ChatGPT. Not I.
It's ChatGPT.
What?
It's a P.
ChatGPT. Oh my god. It's okay. Oh my god. See? That's how you know I don't use it. I don't even know. Oh my god. That's so funny.
A lot of people make that mistake, though. So, you're not alone.
I'm glad it's not just me.
It's not just you.
That's so funny. I actually, you know what? Now that you mentioned the Twitter AI, I actually had a gentleman when I was at a trade show try and tell me, listen to this, he tried to tell me that more transgender people have committed mass shootings than any other demographic. And I went, that is not correct. And then he pulled up Twitter and said to his phone, transgenders killing Christians, like statistics. And I went, what in the world is going on?
How out of freaking pocket, man.
I know. I mean, we were having a conversation about, like, other things, but then he started to, like, dog. I was like, if you have a problem with people who are transgender, that says so much more about you. Why do they live in your head rent-free? You need to stop worrying about what other people do with their bodies. I'm so sick of it. Yeah, it just was so crazy. Well, because this was right after, I know that we had, like, the Annunciation School thing that happened in Minneapolis, and that was, obviously, it's always a tragedy, but then people try to latch on to, it's kind of like the thing where it's always, if a white person does it, they're a lone wolf, but if a person of color or a minority group does it, then that is indicative of how all the people are in that group.
Yeah.
Which is so frustrating. I mean, and it's so hard because obviously we're just two white women here probably preaching to the choir, but it is just, it's hard to, like, be in a world where that is and try to combat that. You know what? So that was on one side of my booth, and then on the other side of my booth, I was talking to a gentleman, and you know what he called me? He was like, you know what you are? You're a shit stirrer. And I went, what? He's like, you can't really keep your opinion to yourself, can you? And I went, what? And so I, like, told a friend about it, and I was like, I don't really understand that. And she was like, he's saying that you're offending people by politely saying your opinion.
How dare you?
How dare! See,
How could you?
This is why I gotta be another white woman screaming on the internet.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh man. And I also, like, I was just thinking actually earlier today, it's, especially at this particular moment in time, really challenging to also, like, just to be a person right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, totally acknowledging my privilege as being a white cis woman, there are people literally in my neighborhood who are being abducted by ICE.
Yeah.
Because I live in a really diverse neighborhood in the Twin Cities. Literally, like, there was a raid, like, a week and a half ago.
There were things on Minnesota public radio of a woman who was abducted, and they released her like 12 hours later because she was an American citizen. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She was just asking ICE what they were doing.
Yeah, and she was white, too.
Yeah.
That literally, I think, happened yesterday.
Yeah, yep.
And there was also someone else who I just heard about on the radio coming over. He is Somalian, but his family immigrated to the U.S. when he was like 4. So he's got as much American culture under his belt as literally any other person.
Right.
And he was trying to tell them as he was being detained, like, I have ID, I'll tell you my name, I'll tell you my date of birth, whatever. And they ended up, like, bringing him to Fort Snelling, I guess, where they have, like, a detention center. And he was, like, caught up in this wild goose chase for, like, 2 or 3 hours. Like, he's got ID, he's got a picture of his passport on his phone. You're not letting him tell you.
Well, and most of the people who are being snatched up by ICE are American citizens. And
Exactly.
That's why when people say that they're just kidnapping people off the street, it is that serious. Mm-hmm. And one thing I think that at least we both try to do is, use our voices on social media, even though we both have jobs and we have to work, and it's so hard to have to participate in such a broken system sometimes. And, we can only do what we can do. Try to volunteer more and, raise a good next generation. And
yeah,
I don't know, that's why I try to read super, super diversely. And, some people will be like, well, God, I got a comment one time when I posted about, like, my favorite nonfiction books. Uh-huh. Someone said, I can only imagine how much fiction is in those books, turning you into a radical leftist. And I was like, tell me you've never read a book.
Stay mad.
Just, like,
stay mad.
You could just say you're illiterate, I guess. I don't know. It's just so funny because they'll say stuff like that, but then I also posted another book haul, like, another time, mm-hmm. and someone was like, God, you're, like, what a loser. I was like...
Thank you.
What? I don't know. I mean, comments don't really get underneath my skin. There was one time when someone told me that I must not understand mental issues because I said I didn't like The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath because she's homophobic and drops the N-word, hard R. And I was like, I don't like that she did that, and therefore it doesn't mean as much to me. And this person was like, I can't believe you would say such a thing. And I'm like, it's just an opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to take it to heart.
Some people just, they take things so personally. They take other people's opinions so personally. Mm-hmm. And I can understand it to a certain degree, but I think, like, we as a society should get better about understanding other people's opinions. But then there are things that, like, aren't opinions. Like, basic human rights are not opinions. And then we talk about, like, the paradox of intolerance. Well, so I read How Fascism Works by Jason Stanley earlier this year. And in that book, it literally talks about the paradox of intolerance and how we cannot tolerate stupidity because then anything goes. The argument was kind of like, why don't universities allow people of all thought processes be professors? And the example that he used was flat earthers. Why can't a flat earther be a science department head? Well, because we know that the earth is fucking round. So that does not hold up.
Yeah.
Right? So it does not make sense. So when people are spewing misinformation or just hateful rhetoric, it doesn't make sense to tolerate that. Like, in my opinion, if you don't support equal marriage rights, that's not an opinion. That is you against equal rights for people.
Yeah. And being bigoted.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
literally what it is.
Totally.
And I wish that people want to hang on to the fact that they are such a good person. Like, whenever you point that out, I'm a really good person, though. It's like, are you, though? Then why do you have these thoughts?
Yeah.
It's not that, like, you don't just get to try and security blanket yourself. I'm a really good person. I was really nice to someone when I didn't have to be. It's like, it's kind of like how people hang on to religion as if it's the only thing that can give you morals and values in this life.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone, I mean, I have my own relationship to organized religion and how I want to move forward and through that. But I'm so sick of people doing all of this stuff in the name of God. And that's where I think I have the hardest time with it, because, like, Jesus was a Palestinian, borderline, like, socialist, essentially, if we really want to go by those teachings, and hung out with the least among us, and fed the children and the poor, and so it's like, I could get down with the teachings of Jesus. I don't know what the hell y'all are doing.
Right, yeah. Well, and they're, picking and choosing what they want to.
Oh my god, I watched the coolest video by this one creator, Wendigoon. He did this, like, biblical iceberg, and essentially, no, it was essentially, like, all of the weird stories of the Bible that they don't teach you because they are, like, cracked out of their minds. And so it was really, really cool. Because, you know, he's diving into all these things, and he's like, why would you learn about this? Because this isn't the sunshine, happy, rainbows, butterflies. Like, this isn't Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, it was so funny. Well, and someone commented on it. He's like, they said Wendigoon is the youth pastor at church camp with the flashlight that says, hey kids, you want to learn about the book of Revelations? And the book of Revelations is how the world is going to end. That's hilarious to me.
Scary stories.
Scary stories directly from God.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Oh, and I never even went to church camp, but if you hear, like, about some people's church camps experience, like, that is whack.
That is whack. I didn't go to a church camp, but I went to Y camps, like YMCA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is technically a Christian organization. Like, they used, like, at the end of every day, we did devos or devotionals, and, like, just kind of talked about our day and, like, what the good parts of our day was.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the camps, there was, like, a sort of like a closing ceremony that there was singing and holding hands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was, like, mostly secular with a dash of God in there.
Yeah.
But I liked that. Like, I'm not a religious person. I was raised religious. I would call myself more spiritual, though.
Yeah.
I liked the like, moments of connection of those particular aspects brought,
mm-hmm.
without being, like, preachy, kind of. I hate, like, that doesn't sound quite right, but...
Yeah, it was kind of like a self-reflection, thinking about your day, connecting to those around you, really, like, kind of grounding yourself in that community that you were building at camp.
Exactly.
Like, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because those are what, like, that's what it's supposed to be about.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be about the community. It's not supposed to be this restrictive thing. I just think that once you are living by, like, arbitrary rules because you think your God is going to get mad at you, I think we need to question things a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to be critical of any sort of belief system that you are subscribing to. Mm-hmm. I mean, whether it's religion or politics or, I mean, anything that anyone tells you and they say it's a fact. It's important to think critically about what they're telling you. Can you believe the source? Do you know this with the other context in your life to be true? You know, just the basic, like, media literacy things. Even if it's not media, just being aware that what you see may not be exactly the truth.
Well, and I feel like with the rise of, you know, AI videos, it's only getting harder.
Totally.
So sad.
And they're getting really good, so it's getting really hard to spot.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, and I feel like that's something that we were taught growing up, or at least I know I can vouch for myself. Like, I was kind of taught, like, how to interact on the internet and how to be safe and internet safety and those things. And I feel like, one, kids aren't being taught that, and, like, two, they're not being taught what's not real on the internet. It's kind of like, I feel that us as like millennials, elder Gen Z, exist in this crazy space where people older than us and younger than us can't export PDFs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like, figure out how to do stuff on the internet by themselves.
Mm-hmm. How to download a file.
Or just, like, you know, like, I don't know how to do X thing. How do I figure out how to do that? Because I feel like the space in which we were growing up as the internet was maturing, it was very much like well, we're just going to have to figure it out because there's no tutorial on YouTube on how to do this.
Right, and we were learning as we were going. We were learning with the internet in a way as we were growing up. I think this is where we are going to end it off. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much to Becca for coming on the podcast today. It's been so nice just sitting and chatting and yapping. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you want Becca back in another video for just another yappin' chat. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.